Hi folks, Larry Winget here. Hope you're having a good morning. Haven't done one of these in a little while. Hope you will join me and we will have some fun. All right, got a few people coming in, joining me here. Be sure to give me a little howdy and a thumbs up when you show up here, and we will go from there. So, all right, look at this. All right, we are having a big time. A little while. Hope you will join me. And I'm trying some new technology here, folks, so you're going to have to bear with me just a minute. Right. Got a few people coming in, joining me here. Be sure to give me a little howdy and a thumbs up when you show up here. And holy crap, I can't figure it out. Here we go. So, all right. Look at that. Okay. There we go. Big crowd showing up. New technology always can mess with you here. Brand new computer, brand new year, all that stuff. Figuring it out as we go. New program. Look at all these folks showing up. All right. Randy says, how are you? I'm good, Randy. Appreciate that. Francis and Margaret. There's Rita and David and Jeff. Look at all these folks. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get started. All right. Here's the deal. You're in a new year. You're getting started. Let me give you a piece of advice that I know will serve you well. Get really good at saying no. That's right. Get good at saying no. We say yes to so much, and we say yes to so many things that don't move us forward to where we want to be, what we want to accomplish. We end up succumbing to the will and the ways and the wants of everybody, and it doesn't move us farther along. Now, let me just say this. If you're at work and your boss asks you to do something, you don't always have the right to say no. You should be saying yes. I mean, you are getting paid to say yes to do the job. So don't take what I'm saying and go crazy with it here. That'd be dumb. But I'm saying in your personal life, when one of your buddies calls and says, let's go do this. Listen, folks, if you don't want to do it, don't do it. My wife and I have a deal. Listen, I believe it or not, I'm just not a big fan of crowds and social gatherings and going to dinner with folks. I have a deal. I won't eat with anybody I don't like. I mean, if I go to dinner with you, you know it's because I enjoy your company. I think there's something sacred about breaking bread with somebody. And so I will only do that with people that I really enjoy. I'm just not going to lunch and dinner with people or having coffee with folks. I don't do that. So when my wife comes in and says, listen, these people have asked us to go to dinner. How do you feel about that? And I have no problem at this point. Of course, it helps being married 35 years and having her understand who I am. And that's okay. We have respect for each other's and what our desires are. I have no problem saying, no, I don't want to do that. I just don't want to. It doesn't serve me well at this point in my life. But you have people who are a drain on you and drain on your time. And what we have a tendency to do is say yes when what we ought to be doing is saying no, not only no, but hell no, never. I'm not going to spend time with you. You drag me down. You keep me stuck. You don't move me forward. I don't accomplish my goals. I don't have spare time to go do that. And I'm not going to give it up. But we are so overwhelmed these days with this ridiculous over-willingness to please others that we just can't figure out how to say no and stand up for ourselves. Let me tell you what it comes down to. I've been talking to you about it for the last year. It comes down to your values. If it's important to you to get other things done, and those are more important than spending time with some yahoo that wants you to come help him do this or help her do that, your values will determine how you spend your time. And you will have not near as much of a problem saying no to other folks. Y'all like that? Agree with me? What do you think? Here's a lot of same here. Married 35 years, very picky who I spend time with. There you go, Lynn. We totally agree. Matt Pearson says, part of inner growth is giving people the axe. Yep, there you go. Cut them off. No problem for me at all. Reverse the totem pole. Put you first. I agree with that, Margaret. And yet so many people, Margaret, and I know you probably, if that's your belief, you run into that a lot. So many people would say, well, that's selfish, and that's not very giving, and that's not serving others well. Oh, bull. Really, the best thing you can do for yourself is be the best version of you can possibly be. I serve others when I serve myself first. Because I know if I'm at my very best, I'm well rested, my mind is in the right place, I'm staying relevant and educated and current and happy and relaxed and yet energized and motivated, I will serve others well. So by putting yourself first, you in essence do put others first. Randy says, I'm an adult. I'm not going to negotiate with you on how I spend my time. There you go. If you don't want it to hang out, if I don't want to hang out with you, accept it. I'm pretty much the very same way. We spend so much time worrying about others' opinions of us that we end up compromising what we really want, what we need to accomplish, and who we really are. That needs to come to an end for you in 2018. It's not as hard as you might think once you start to practice it. Put it into your daily dealings with others. Just learn to say no to others. Don't compromise on every single thing. You don't have to. You don't need to. Big boys and girls, don't compromise. It's part of learning to be comfortable with who you are, being a real man and a real woman. There's Cheryl says, good day. Hey, Larry from Paul Rosick. Paul, you weren't first today. What's the deal with that? If you're not serving yourself, Matt says, it's not possible to serve others. See, that's the way I look at it, and that's what I was just saying there. So I won't waste my vacation visiting family. Boy, me either. How much of a vacation is that? I agree with you. By the way, folks, I just mentioned the words, be a real man, be a real woman. Chris Widener, maybe you know Chris. Chris worked with Zig in his later years, shooting a TV show with Zig. He worked with Jim Rohn and co-wrote several, 7 or 8 books with Jim Rohn, who's truly my mentor and I think the greatest of all time, Jim Rohn. If you haven't read and listened to Jim, you should. But he and I were sitting around smoking a cigar and having a bourbon on my patio one afternoon. And we said, you know what's lacking in society? Men being real men. Now, this is nothing against the women. Women don't attack us on this, don't come after us on this. And I'll guarantee you, if you are comfortable being a real woman, you want men to be real men. And let me tell you what that means to us. It means about having values and ethics and learning how to be a good husband as well as a good father, learning how to be a good employee, a good employer, living by honesty and integrity and the core values that I believe matter and have been talking about so much for the last year. And what we were saying is nobody's really designing anything. You know, you can look on the internet, type in women's apostrophe, whatever, and there'll be women's seminars and women's entrepreneur groups and women's business groups and women's networking groups and that, I think that's great. I think it's terrific. But we started looking around, there's not much for men, and there's nobody really speaking up to the audience of men, teaching them how to be men. And so what we decided in that afternoon over a cigar and a whiskey and just chatting about what we see as a real hole in the marketplace is somebody needs to be speaking to men, especially young men. Because we have more than ever, we have young men growing up without fathers and without real strong male influences in their life. And I think that that's to the detriment of us all, to men and to women and to society. So what Chris and I have done is started another podcast. Now, this will, of course, be broadcast on my Grow a Pair podcast as well as here on Facebook Live. And I appreciate those of you who listen to me on Grow a Pair podcast. If you're not right now, go subscribe. It's getting a lot of good feedback. And you can also write me questions if you'd like for me to answer those. And I appreciate your input. Believe me, I do. But we started another one called the How to Be a Real Man podcast with Chris Widener and Larry Winget. How to be a real man. If you have sons that you care about them learning about honesty and integrity and core values and how to treat other people and how to go to work and do the work and how to be a good person. Because I think that's what being a real man is about. Nothing is off limits, by the way. You can ask us anything, and all you have to do is write us at Real Man Questions, and we'll take any question about manhood from sex to education to friendship, and we're getting lots of great questions and answering them. But if you have a son that you would like to hear this, please let him know. If you have a husband or a brother that you would like to be involved. And women, if you'd like to listen to this and give us your input, we would be happy to have you there too, but it is targeted toward guys. And because that's where we see the big hole in the marketplace. So just go to Real Man Podcast. You can also go to How to Be a Real Man here on Facebook. There's a Facebook page, and we'll tell you all about it. But go to Real Man Podcast. We've got, I think, 8 or 9 episodes up right now. We'll be posting an episode every single week. The feedback, we announced it for the very first time on Monday, and we've had like 1,000 downloads already. That's pretty good for a new podcast. So go there and listen to it, because we're going to talk about things that really matter. And it's important, I believe, and Chris believes, to make sure men figure this stuff out. Appreciate the feedback I'm getting there. Howdy Brother says Jerry. Linda gives me a thumbs up. Mary Lee gives me a little heart. I appreciate that. Sarah, love your boot shelf. You know, I appreciate that. I really do. All right, folks, this is a short one today. Remember, get good at saying no. This is the real deal. I am sitting in my office. My phone is ringing. You can hear all that stuff. Always keeping it real with Larry Winget. If you have questions for any Facebook Live future deal or for the Grow a Pair podcast, be sure to write me. And please go on How to Be a Real Man. Listen to Real Man Podcast. Look it up on iTunes or all the other platforms. It's out there. I appreciate you listening to me today. Thank you.